present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Welcome to this edition of Joy News at 6 with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. It's live on Joy 99.5 FM here and 99.7 FM in Accra, and Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country and around the world at myjoyonline.com. Coming up this morning, NADMO expects devastating floods in northern Ghana to get worse as heavy rains and Bagui Dam spillage continue.
Almost every day the rain is dropping, so we cannot talk rather than praying against serious deaths.
The death toll stands at 10 now, and some 200 houses have caved in. We've got details on that. And Minority NDC demands to know movement of security heads ahead of elections.
Who goes where, when? We need to know so that we can hold them responsibly and accountable to their conduct.
The group is unhappy public education on the voters' exhibition is only in Akan and English. We've got details of that. And majority in parliament denies claims by CSOs that government is massaging figures on Ghana's annual gold royalties in an attempt to justify the Ajapa deal in business.
Government may struggle to pay salaries next year. That's the assertion by an economist. We will fill you in on the Joy Business Report.
And we have an update from day one of the National Science and Maths Quiz. Do stay with us.
Aquinas, since Aquinas, from victory to victory.
You don't want to miss that. Details coming up shortly. Thanks for your company. The details now. The National Disaster Management Organization says it expects to witness more losses as flood waters kill, submerge farmlands, homes and roads in the northern part of Ghana. The death toll in the Upper East region stands at 4, while death in the Northeast region is pegged at 6, bringing the total to 10. Hundreds remain displaced as the Bagui Dam spillage and days of rain continue to wreak havoc. Upper East Regional NADMO Director Jerry Asamini tells Joy News they'll be deploying relief items to victims today.
One got down on the river Sicily that runs through Bulsa North.
And how many people have been displaced per your count so far?
Per our count so far, we have about 68.
68 people?
Yes.
Okay, do you expect more? Are you still counting and do an assessment?
In fact, the situation is so bad that almost every day the rain is dropping. So we cannot talk rather than praying against serious deaths. There's no way we can fight a man-made cause and a natural this thing like the torrential rainfall.
You heard the Upper East Regional NADMO Director, Jerry Asamani. We're trying to head to that part of the country to bring you more updates. When we're able to do so, we would go there shortly. Meanwhile, the Minority NDC is demanding to know the movement of security heads with just 3 months to the elections. The group is of the view such information will bring about transparency in deployment and general security, especially on election day. Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu says the conduct of some security personnel in the past gives cause for worry, especially in NDC strongholds.
The conduct, a few of them leaves might to be desired. I saw a number of persons being beaten by a section of the security agencies that was in Tamale 3 days ago, and we are asking for utmost neutrality. We may even as a political party be interested in the heads of the security agencies disclosing to us who goes where, when. We need to know so that we can hold them responsibly and accountable to their conduct in those areas, and particularly on election day.
The minority is also not happy. Recent public education on the yet-to-be conducted exhibition of the voters' register is only done in Akan and English. Haruna Idrisu wants the Electoral Commission to include other languages.
Not necessarily motive, but it's limited just to 2 languages. That's not good enough, and that's not adequate enough to get the voters adequately educated and adequately informed about this important exercise. I'm saying this so that future advertisement will pick up in major languages once and at the same time. Any communication the Electoral Commission is putting out must necessarily start in all major languages.
Haruna Idrisu is Minority Leader in Parliament. Let's go back to a first story on devastating floods in the northern part of the country. Ilyasu Tanko is our up northeast region correspondent, and he joins us. Ilyasu, we understand that some communities were cut off as of the weekend. What's the latest now?
Well, the situation remains quite the same in the Chirepone district, for instance, where we are getting reports of communities still getting cut off and more displacement around that area. Yesterday, overnight, some 2 children were injured. As we speak, these children have been treated and discharged. And also in the West Mamprese municipality, we understand also that many communities are also still getting cut off day by day.
Ilyasu Tanko is our Northeast Region correspondent, but we were just receiving a weather warning from the Meteorological Service. Editor Fred Smith has details.
Well, it says that a rainstorm observed over northern Togo is expected to move west to affect the northern and middle sectors of Ghana with thundery and rainy activities from this morning into the day. Areas expected to be affected include Chirepone, Gambaga, Gushegu, Yendi, Bimbila, Garu, Napanduri between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. And we have Navrongo, Bolgatanga, Walewale, Tamale, Daboya, and Salaga as well between 7 and 12 midday today. And there are areas also in the northern region as well as the upper west regions all being affected. The middle sector will experience from the afternoon.
Thank you, Fred Smith, there with details of a weather warning from the Meteo Service. If you are in the affected areas, please be informed and stay safe. Away from that, the majority in Parliament has denied claims by civil society groups that government is massaging figures on Ghana's annual gold royalties in an attempt to justify the Ejapa deal. At a media briefing in Accra Tuesday, the CSOs accused government of underreporting the country's earnings from gold and reducing information on the deal communicated to the CSOs. Dr. Steve Mantia, who speaks for the 22 CSOs, says the development is bad for the country.
When a direct question was posed to the Deputy Minister of Finance on the amount of royalties received from gold in 2019, he said Ghana received about 650 million cedis, equivalent of $123 million. The truth is that Ghana received 1.06 billion cedis, equivalent to $200 million. From the big companies under the Chamber of Mines alone. Government has data on the other receipts, yet it decided to underreport the numbers.
Well, NPP MP for Sekondi, Andrew Ejapa-Mensah, says the $123 million figure represents only royalties from concessions that are part of the Ejapa deal.
It's unfortunate when allegations of this nature are made without necessarily backing them up with facts. Because if I hear what the civil society organizations are saying, they're essentially accusing government of a serious offense. The total royalties that we get, particularly in the years on the reference that relates to the transaction, is different, obviously, from the one that we generate from the 16 mining leases that we are assigning.
You heard the NPP MP for Sekondi, Andrew Ejapa-Mensah. Now, aerospace specialist Dr. Yakubu Akparibo says there's no need to construct an airport in the Upper East region, considering the economic, safety needs, and promotion of general aviation factors. The NDC in its People's Manifesto promised to construct an airport in the Upper East region. But Dr. Akparibo says it will be more beneficial to invest in a high-speed rail to operate between Bolgatanga and Tamale. He spoke on Newsnight.
We currently have airport in Ho. We don't use it. The one in Wa, few flights started going there, and as it is now, we don't even use that. So I don't think that our priority should be getting airports in these cities. We should rather be thinking of constructing a high-speed rail between the two cities.
You heard that Dr. Akparibo, an aerospace specialist. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is asking Ghanaians to ignore the promises made by the NDC's flag bearer, John Mahama, during the launch of the party's 2020 manifesto. Addressing a Deborah of chiefs and people of Bulenga in the Wa East District, Dr. Bawumia insisted former President Mahama has a track record of failing to deliver on his manifesto. Away from election-related matters.